God is there to judge of a family. We must see whether the law of respect is observed in it. Where the children, the servants, are submissive and respectful, we may say, behold a good and happy family. Respect and honor rendered to parents form the religion of the family, just as respect for the sovereign or his representatives is the religion of society. It is not the qualities of these persons that we are called upon to honor, but the dignity that comes from God. Now, we owe respect to our Lord. It is our first obligation. We owe him spontaneous respect, instinctive respect, not founded on reasoning, and this under pain of being wanting in the sense of faith. This is instinctive. Our Lord must be honored wherever he is. His dignity as man God demands it. At his name every knee should bend in heaven, on earth, and in hell. In heaven, the angels prostrate before his majesty, trembling and adoring. The place of the glory of our Lord is also that of his sovereign respect. On earth, all creatures obey our Lord. The sea bows down under his feet in adoration. The sun and stars honor him. They mourn when men revile him. In hell, the reprobate tremble under the justice of the severe judge of the living and the dead. Roman 2. Respect to our Lord present ought not to be respect springing from reason alone. When the court, the king are announced, all rise instinctively. When the sovereign passes, all salute. There is one spontaneous movement of respect and deference. He who has lost sentiment or who seeks to destroy it in others is no longer a man. Oh, how Catholics have to blush for their little respect before our Lord. I am now speaking of only the respect of instinct. Go into a synagogue. If you were to act or speak disrespectfully, you would be put out. To enter a mosque, you are obliged to lay aside your shoes. And yet these infidels have nothing real in their temples, and we have all. In spite of that, their respect far surpasses ours. Our Lord had good right to say that the demon is more honored than he. I have brought up children, and they have despised me. I ask mothers whether they would be well satisfied to be publicly scorned by their children. Why do we do in presence of our Lord what would wound us so much if done in our own? Why are we less sensitive when there is question of the honor of Jesus Christ than when our own dignity is at stake? What could be more false? Our dignity comes to us only from God by reflection. By neglecting the respect due to our Lord, we are destroying our own. Oh, were our Lord to punish us as we deserve for our failures in respect. He caused Heliodorus to be scourged severely for having profaned his temple, but there is more here than in the temple. Let us, then, give to our Lord our first homage of respect on entering his presence. Should levity or carelessness precede this homage? Ah, we are miserable. Yes, our greatest sins against faith are those of failures in respect. Romans 3. He who has faith knows where he is going. He knows that he is going to the church, to Jesus Christ. Like St. Bernard, he says to all his occupations when entering, remain outside. I must go to God for refreshment. Act thus. You know how long you have to remain in church, so during that time, leave everything else. If you come to pray, then you have not come to think over your business affairs. If distractions, the imagination, preoccupations disturb you, send them outside the door without troubling yourself about them, and do you remain inside. Offer yourself to our Lord in the spirit of respect and reparation. Be more recollected, and let our Lord see that you detest your distractions. By your demeanor, if not by your interior, do homage to his divinity, his presence, and if you do only that, you will already be doing a great deal. Watch a saint entering a church. He does so without thinking of those that may be there, forgetting everything, seeing only Jesus Christ. In presence of the Pope, one thinks not of bishops or cardinals, and in heaven, the saints are not amusing themselves with honoring one another. No, to God alone all honor, all glory. Act, then, on this principle in the church. There is only our Lord. After entering, remain perfectly quiet for a moment. Silence is the greatest mark of respect and the first disposition for prayer's respect. Most of our dryness and indevotion in prayer come from our want of respect to our Lord on our first appearing before him, or from the fact that we do not maintain a respectful position. Oh, let us take a firm resolution to practice this instinctive respect. There is no necessity for reasoning on that point. Must our Lord prove to us his presence every time we enter a church? Ought he to send an angel every time to tell us that he is there? That would, indeed, be very deplorable, though, alas, very necessary. Romans 4, we owe our Lord exterior respect. That is the prayer of the body, and nothing so much helps the prayer of the soul. See with what religious care the Church has regulated the least details of her exterior worship. It is because this prayer gives great glory to Jesus Christ. He gave us the example of it by praying on his knees, and tradition shows him to us praying with his arms in the form of a cross, or raised toward heaven. The apostles preserved for us this manner of prayer, and the priest uses it in the holy sacrifice. Our body, which receives life from God, which lives upon his benefits at every instant, does it owe nothing to God? It must be made to pray by its respectful posture. Negligent attitudes of the body weaken the soul, while crucifying one strengthens and helps it. I do not wish to make you suffer by a too uncomfortable position, but we must use a little severity. Never indulge in familiar postures before God, for they engender contempt. Love him, be tender and affectionate toward him, but never familiar. Aridity and indevotion in prayer almost always rise from reverence of demeanor. If traveling, or saying prayers of supererogation in your own homes, take the posture that will fatigue you least. But before our Lord, the whole being should adore. Recall how severe God was on this point in the old law, through what preparatory details the Levites had to pass. God wished thereby to make them feel their dependence, and to prepare them to pray well. Through one of this exterior respect, our piety languishes. I know well that it is not necessary to tremble with fear before God, or to be afraid to enter his presence. But on the other hand, we must not look as if we ignored him. This reserved demeanor is a help to more earnest prayer, but through sensuality, we neglect to maintain it. We think ourselves too much fatigued. Ah, how the imagination deceives us! If the Pope were passing, our fancied fatigue would not prevent our kneeling. And even should we be seriously fatigued, let us not be so afraid of suffering, for it spreads the wings of prayer. We can at least, even then, preserve a grave and serious demeanor. When persons of the world are fatigued, they sit down in an upright position. They do not lounge on their chairs. Take, then, none of those postures that relax the soul and unfit it for prayer. As for us, religious, kneeling is our proper position, for it is the true posture of the adorer. If we are greatly fatigued, let us stand. That, too, is a respectful position, but let us never sit. Let us be soldiers of the God of the Eucharist. If our heart is not burning with love, our body, at least, will testify to our faith and our desire to love and do the right thing. May our body pray. May it adore. Let us all belong to the court of King Jesus. Think that the Master is there. Impress your mind with that thought. Attention to our Lord Jesus Christ.